just wanted to just have a curiosity about this key in this whole pyramid of this funding pyramid, who makes more money, VC founders or angel investors
It depends. So everybody, at the end of the day,
in general?
in general, everybody has to share the. So founders, I think, take the. So there's a huge respect for founders because they take a risk, leaving their good jobs and working without a market salary most of the times, and they are only based on the value creation and they've built something for the scratch. So I think the value accreditation for them should be most at the end of the day because it is they who have created
Right.
the business. So people may put in money. So I have got money, I put in money, but you have put in the sweat and you have built the business on the ground. So
Right.
at the end of the day, I think generally the founder should make the most of the money.
But don't
Maybe
you?
a delayed one, but I
Uh,
think the maximum output should come to the founder because he or she has put in the sweat and blood and probably run the operations. That is why you will see the successful founders when they go for a second investment for a second venture of their own, they get funded a pre-revenue because they
Right.
have given return to all the investors and they know how it is required to be done from a scratch level, from a ground level. So second time the learning curve is there, so you may be able to cover the distance shorter, maybe in a different stream, but the basic thesis of the business doesn't change. GTM होना चाहिए, यूनिट इकोनॉमिक्स ठीक होना चाहिए. कोई भी बिजनेस करोगे अल्टीमेटली आपको कौन सा इन्वेस्टर चाहिए और कब एग्जिट चाहिए. सो आई थिंक दैट इज वेयर इट इज. बट या, the angel investor can end up making more money if the startup fails and the founder can end up losing everything.
Right.
Or probably at times the VC fund end up making more money because they came in early and they stayed for the larger period of the time.
Right.
So I think the making of money is also linked to the time which you spend. And it's, if you calculate an IRR for everybody, so a decent IRR of 20 plus percentage anybody is making is good enough.
Wow. Sir, recently we have seen so many online funding platforms out there. Those who are just like, have you heard about this Tyke?
Yeah, so Tyke was in news because they were issuing an instrument, I think. And there are a lot of news around it being not regulated to a perspective which is required. I'm not fully aware of what has happened, but I think it is not regulated because the consumers or probably the investors were putting in money. So see, today everybody wants to do a small check investment, 1
Right.
lakh, 2 lakh ka investment, and no fund is taking that kind of money, and
Right.
people don't have access and time to scout for investment. So these platforms have mushroomed up where they are putting money from the angel investors and probably putting it back into the companies. But I think it should be regulated because at the end of the day जो आप पैसे डाल रहे हो उसके against tangible asset होना चाहिए, चाहे वो इक्विटी की फॉर्म में हो, स्टॉक की फॉर्म में हो. इफ इट इज नॉट, देन इट गोज इनटू so what you are investing for and how you will claim the return. So I think any platform from that perspective mature should be regulated to that extent. At the end of the day, if you don't have a share certificate, then you have not input the money. So
Right.
how you will probably get the money back.
Right. Because I think they are doing it in escrow account kind of
Yeah,
things, and
yeah.
so this
They
is
are
all.
doing it in escrow and they are issuing a new instrument which is probably employee stock option type. So employee stock option is
Community
also
stocks.
community stock. So
Right.
I think that is also an instrument which is debatable under the Companies Act as well as regulations, because from that community stock ka kya matlab hai, it has got a value or not. Is it a
Right.
real equity or not? Because
Right.
stock option is typically gets converted into equity at a later stage. It is for employees, as we typically know, not looking into this, but employee stock options gets converted in equity, so they are granted to employees as a part of the probably the payroll structure, and over a period of time it gets vested and then converted, and when stock option gets converted it's taxable, and generally the people get it converted
Right.
when there is a liquidity event, so that the net of taxation happens. So I think from that perspective, options, how they are structured, it needs to test the law. So currently, I think they are still under the permit. They are not clear from a legal perspective that this
Right.
instrument should be legally tenable or not. But law will take its own course, and then we will come to know whether this is a valid instrument for somebody to invest or not.
Right.